This is an addendum. The heroes and gods then of the ancient world reflect what we were imagining before our imaginations were superseded by doctrine. We can interpret them in our own lights, and we do, but there's a huge absence, therefore. There's a hole. When we deal with Troy, for instance, it becomes Disney. Disney is our new myth maker. It is our new understanding. It is the new patriarch as Agamemnon becomes Jafar. Achilles, Brad Pitt, like a blue-eyed Jesus. To be fair, Pitt, a trickster on the scene and therefore a taker down of the fustiness, the silliness, and the artificialities of men, hints at Achilles and does very well. It is a neat thing in great acting to do, half the job, to hint at rather than slather it on. And it is very, very rare. Not because we don't have these talents, but because the controllers, the hirers and firers, and the wretched writers are often shallow and easily threatened. And this by choice, another male trait. Fake it, fake it, fake it. Who will challenge you, you lion, you? Anybody could, and they should, but the fallout would be shocking. It isn't just that the emperor is naked, a fraud. The whole court is naked, including you. So much of our training brings us to this pass. Not a crossroads, that is useful, but a pass where we stop. We do not even halt. We are not brought up short. We just cease to move. And imagine we are moving, still moving. Achilles does not stop. Again, a caution even to himself, a particular tradition, a relationship to the gods. After these long 5 years, after up to 50 odd before a thing like awareness, my conclusion is that the civilization I have lived in and live in and watched from further and further afar is not demanding, soliciting, or seducing the best in us. The civilization, has succeeded in distorting us, mostly by finding its various successes, such as they are, in repressing and crushing our nature. Think about it. Our paragons are men and women whose will and faith have made them freaks. Our capacity to control ourselves is rewarded and honored over how deeply we discover the same selves. We accept truths, we don't find them. If this is our way, our searching ways get rusty, and our obeying ways get deeper, which is no way at all. And our religions or faith systems are cops where they might have been guides. We are naturally authoritarian because without our popes and presidents, we are lost. We claim we choose these leaders. In a faint way, perhaps we do, but because we need them so much, they fail, because they can. The neat thing is once one finds little value in the rewards of Western civilization, its rather gross and unhealthy promises, the value of what it rejects to maintain its control becomes sources of much joy and life. I'd have believed them, the West. I'm equipped with the taste to appreciate, but at last the evidence of their spiritual vacancy, this centrist, moderate lot, is now too much to forgive, let alone respect, let alone enjoy. I tripped up. I don't deal in spirituality. The term is comprehensible but meaningless. I've been listening to Mélenchon, the French populist, Macron, the French president, since 2017. It seems longer. He cuts a dashing figure in the media. He says he wished every young person would try to be a billionaire. There you have it. A young political star of the country that brought us the Enlightenment, though I'd not put it past that lot to feel the same way, specifies what European civilization actually means. It has brought us the will toward wealth. We even say, oh, so-and-so is doing well, meaning they are rich. It's our supreme value. That's fine. And those of us who are deprived or kept out of the various opportunities or kept off the various roads to billionairedom because of racism or other prejudice now complain of this as if it is the essential deprivation. We all want the equal opportunity to prove how much better we are than the rest. And money is our evidence, our confirmation. Harvard is not an educator, it is a status symbol. Being a billionaire involves no great works, no songs or poems, no essential fame or courageous deeds. It is evidence of opportunism, calculation, greed, and obsession. As long as the ambition to civil rights is co-opted by the equality of opportunity snark, nothing will be delivered. Having more people of the color in the 1% is still the 1%. When Beowulf is dying, he laments he has no wealth. But this is the leap. I am sure wealth is lovely, but it seems to mean one has to hang out with the wealthy, for one thing. Ouch. The pictures of the beaches, cars, expensive dinners, and tuxedos must trigger some people, but not me. And I'm not resentful. I don't campaign for equality of opportunity to obtain what is obviously the jewel in the crown of my culture. People who work for a living are happy people. Or if sad, the sadness is no greater than that which the wealthy so often succumb to: meaninglessness. Even a slow poke like Joe Biden will regurgitate or even understand that work brings dignity. Therefore, to be clear, that means the rentier, the Bitcoiner, the dividend class has no dignity. And it's obvious. Look at them. I would say life is best when it is meaningful, but I have never hunted meaning, so how would I know? Meaning has always been standing right there in my doorway every day like a welcome shadow, a companion. And I say this sadly. I and this shadow are alone. Quote, I don't understand the language. I cannot read the signs. You may be high above me, but I'm leaving you behind. End quote. Thomas Macaulay, Englishman, 1835. Quote, I have no knowledge of either Sanskrit nor Arabic, but I have done what I could to form a correct estimate of their value. I have read translations of the most celebrated Arabic and Sanskrit works. I have conversed both here and at home with men distinguished by their proficiency in the Eastern tongues. I am quite ready to take the Oriental learning at the valuation of the Orientalists themselves. I have never found one among them who could deny that a single shelf of a good European library was worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia. The intrinsic superiority of Western literature is indeed fully admitted by those members of the committee who support the Oriental plan of education, end quote. What is really funny, this is really funny when you consider how crushingly boring Northern Europeans are. Legendarily, that single shelf is the stuff that sustains them. By the way, to date, reading Herodotus, I realized this sniffling arrogance was absent. BC.